Hello, beautiful, intuitive parent. So good to be here as always. So, I want to drop in with a little bit of a share and some inspiration actually. I want to share a little secret with you all, which kind of is the foundation and the basis of what we teach at IPIK. And it's really coming up for me at the moment because my kids are having a few problems and a few things are coming to the surface, and it's really quite irritating as a parent that they're not listening. They're struggling, and so I'm trying really hard to support them, to empower them to do things differently, to um, find a different way of navigating what's happening. I'm in the garden, by the way, so it's full of birds. You can probably hear them chirpy, chirpy. Yeah, so the thing about intuitive parenting is that we so often focus our attention on our kids, on what's not working, on the bits that are hard, and we're like, oh, I just want to make this better for them. Like, I want to do this differently so that they can, make a decision or stand up for themselves, or, really listen to what people are saying instead of just, doing their own thing, or whatever the things are. Maybe it's not tidying up. Maybe it's, that they're really shy and they just don't want to engage in something. Maybe they change their mind all the time about activities that they want to do. Like, there's just so many things that as a parent we want to sometimes control and to fix. So I'm in a pattern a bit like that at the moment with my son. And it's really been coming up for me that he is struggling with kind of being motivated. He's hitting that teenager age where he's like, oh, don't want to do anything. And it's just hard work. Like, I'm finding it hard work. And so I've noticed myself being really triggered. I've noticed that it's really irritating to me that he can't make decisions and that he is struggling to decide about what he wants. And a couple of times I've got really irritated with him, and I'm like, oh, it's not feeling good for me that I'm responding in this way. So the secret of intuitive parenting is that actually it's never about them. Never about them. It's always about you. And it's always about what is going on within you and the way you're being as the parent, and holding space for that will change their behavior. And I know this might sound initially like, what the hell? Like, how could I change and they will suddenly do the thing I want them to do? Or, how is it that me doing it differently actually shifts their behavior? The reason that that is the case is because when you are parenting from a place of energy, vibration, and resonance, you start to see that nothing is separate, that everything is a whole. And so as I take time to reflect on what it is in me that is being irritated by my son, by this pattern of behavior, I start to notice the different stories that I have around making decisions. And as I work with myself, as I dig into my stories around it, my energy shifts. I start to expand. I start to hold a different space for him to lean into. I start to learn more because I might go and read a book, or start to kind of unearth some of the kind of hidden information that I'm storing within myself about that. So instead of my focus being fully on his behavior, making him or trying to help him, which is how it's been framed, supporting him to do something differently, which is still important. But it's not the whole story. And as parents, that's what we spend a lot of our time doing. We're controlling, we're trying to make it a certain way. We're trying to make it be the way we want it to be. And actually, when we just stop and go inwards in ourselves and reflect back and actually look at what's happening inside, everything changes. And it changes because as your energy shifts, your body language changes, your tone of voice changes, the ideas and the inspirations that you have changes. And so if we can start to realize that our intuitive parenting does not begin with them, with your children, or your spouse, or any other relationship. It begins with you. It begins with what's in your heart, what's coming up deeply for you around the particular behavior or circumstance that you're in. That is the magic. That is actually where transformation happens. Because nothing can be changed outside of yourself. We might think we can. We might try and manipulate it. We might try and actually open a doorway by making things happen. But actually, the changes come from you. Everything in your life comes from you. So next time you're in a position with one of your kids where you're feeling like they need help, they need support, they need to change, they need to do it differently, I would encourage you to just pause and just stop and think, what is it in me that I could change here? What is it in me that I could lean into and support? Because I can promise you, like hand on heart, promise you that if you allow yourself to lean in and feel what's really coming up, that's the truth. And from that place, you can then shift your vibration and everything around you will change. And I know for those of you that have worked with me for a while, you know this, you know the truth because you've done it. And I would just encourage anybody new to just give it a go. What's the worst thing that could happen? So that is the secret of IPIK. That is the big thing that we, shift the perception around that most parenting people, mentors, are not doing. We're always looking at our kids' behavior. We're always looking at them. And my invitation is to turn it around and look at you and see what happens. Mwah.